reopen in a few days, but still the Qatari LNG could be affected for a longer time. Regarding oil, we could see some, for example, Russian oil or gas flowing to some Asian markets, for example. So that we are going to see a little bit of a change in the flows, in the trades worldwide.
What are you watching in terms of indicators? And you've said that the two key factors here are how long it takes for Qatar to bring its gas production back online, that's one, and two, if and when the Strait of Hormuz will reopen for that energy to then get out to the rest of the world. Those are the two big uncertainties. Given those uncertainties, what are the indicators that you're watching to see, where this is going?
I think closing the Strait of Hormuz for a long time is not beneficial for Iran either, yeah? Because they import and they export fossil fuel products through there. So I don't think it's in their interest nor the interest of other countries in the region to keep that strait closed for a long time. So I could see, but I said something could happen in the future, but I think that the Strait of Hormuz is not going to be closed for a long time. So having said that, we could still going to see some flows of oil going through there, but we are not going to see flows of LNG if the Qatari LNG production sites have been affected. Okay. Even if the Strait of Hormuz is that correct?
Yeah, no, go ahead. You're saying the number one thing you're watching is how long the Strait of Hormuz is going to stay closed, and what's the second thing?
Exactly, so that's one thing. But even if, let's say, if it's open, if Qatari LNG production has been stopped for a long time, then the 20% LNG flows in the world have been stopped.
Okay, so how long also Qatar will be suspended or forced to suspend its gas production? Those are the two big uncertainties. Anything else for our viewers to keep in mind at this point on the energy front?
On the energy front, we should also like to see what's going to happen with the US LNG flowing to all these other countries, Russian LNG flowing to all these countries, also oil. So we would like to see these other countries, what part are they taking in all these trades?
Okay, Anna Maria 𝗂𝗓𝗏𝗧, thank you very much for sharing your expertise with us.
Enter World. World Card is a virtual MasterCard built for media buyers. It supports over 15 currencies.
His successor. That decision will shape the future of the Islamic Republic. Al Jazeera's Victoria Gately takes a closer look at the succession process.
In Iran, real power doesn't sit with the president, it's held by the supreme leader. The country's top political and religious authority, believed by his followers to be divinely ordained. The role was created after the 1979 Islamic Revolution, based on the doctrine a senior cleric should oversee the state to ensure it follows Islamic law. That principle is written into Iran's constitution, giving one-man authority over all elected institutions. The supreme leader is commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He appoints top military commanders and has direct influence over the Revolutionary Guard. He can declare war or peace and has final authority over national security and nuclear policy. Politically, he appoints the head of the judiciary, half of the powerful Guardian Council, and important oversight bodies. He can approve or dismiss the president and signs off on major state policies. He's also the highest religious authority within the system. The supreme leader is not chosen by public vote. Instead, he's selected by the Assembly of Experts, an 88-member clerical body elected by voters, but whose candidates are vetted by the system. The Assembly reviews potential successors and appoints one leader or a leadership council. If the supreme leader dies, resigns, or is incapacitated, a temporary council, usually including the president, the judicial chief, and a senior cleric, oversees the country until a successor is chosen. Iran has experienced only one such transition since 1979. Because so much authority is concentrated in a single office, succession is one of the most sensitive moments in the Islamic Republic, with implications not just for Iran, but for the wider region.
Let's unpack this further. Hassan Ahmadian is an associate professor at the University of Tehran, and he joins us from the Iranian capital. Joining us on set is Al Jazeera correspondent 𝗧𝗶𝗶𝗧𝗏, who has reported extensively from Iran. until recently. I'll be back with you in just a second. Hassan, starting with you this hour, talk to us about Iran's strategy. They had said that they were going to target U.S. military bases across the region. Within 4 hours, they completely changed their rules of engagement, and they're now going after civilian targets, and they're going after energy infrastructure.
The basic targets have been and still are the bases of the United States. But at the same time, they're trying to put more pressure on the United States through, the stopping their shipments through the Strait of Hormuz. And I think we didn't have any confirmation of some of the civilian attacks in Iran, but it seems that part of it, as the foreign minister yesterday explained, has to do with U.S. forces and where the Iranians believe they are. Now, if energy infrastructures are targeted, if it is confirmed from the Iranian authorities, I think that's another part of ratcheting up the pressure to force the United States to rethink its aggression against the country through driving up all prices of energy globally, and to push the world basically to push back against aggression that is unprovoked and wasn't necessary because there was diplomatic engagement before it began. So that should be part of ratcheting up the pressure.
But Hassan, the question that's before us today, I'll take this to Rasul, and then if you want to respond, you will be able to. The question that's before us today, first of all, I'd like to confirm as a matter of fact that yes, energy sources across the Gulf have indeed been struck. We don't need confirmation from Iran. We have those facts. The question is it good strategy, even from Iran's standpoint, to be making enemies, because that's what's going to happen, to be making enemies of all its neighbors? Rasul, you start, and Hassan, if you have thoughts on this, by all means.
I think this kind of actions is actually destroying the possibility of any potential normalization of Iran with its own region as well. So Iran is not only isolated from the world, it's not only having tension with the United States or with America, it's constantly having a tension with its own regions as well. And these kind of actions are further actually adding to that mistrust between Iran and its region. So here what I can see that is Iran is adopting as a strategy is like, okay, so we need to put a deterrence or restore the deterrence. And to do that, we need to raise the cost for Washington, but also we need to raise the cost for the regional countries, to regionalize the country. And to regionalize the country, so they have 4 stages. That first stage, hitting the American military bases here. If that is going to put enough pressure to the regional country, and that the regional countries are going to stop Washington, then it's fine. But if they don't, then we go to the second stage.
And it has, by the way. Yes. That's been established. It has not deterred Washington.
Absolutely. And that second stage, so we're going to hit the energy infrastructures and the critical infrastructure, like the airports and the energy infrastructure, because that is where it hurts most. This is the whole the idea, the notion that the Gulf is based on. Once you're targeting that wealth and stability and safety, so that is the Gulf dream. You're hitting it. And then if that is not enough to move the regional countries against the US, then third stage. And the third stage, I fear they will be targeting the strategic depots that are reserved for wartime, such as
energy reserves.
No, such as food reserves and water supplies depots could be targeted. And even if that
well, hold
is
on.
not
Water
enough,
supplies, I think that needs to be explained to our viewers because we
region as well. And the pretext is here, so each region as well. And the pretext is here, so each time they could say